John chapter 2, verse 17 says, "His disciples remembered that it was written, 'Zeal for your house will consume me.'" Now this is on the heels of Jesus coming into the temple and having this just ferocious agitation, frustration, maybe righteous anger, maybe indignation that his Father's house has been used for a house of trade and it's been turned into a den of robbers. There's money changing and all these things going on that are not tending to God's people. And so Jesus overturns the tables and makes a cord of whips, chases out the animals, all this kind of stuff. And now here it says his disciples remembered that it was written, "Zeal for your house will consume me." Now that's a quote from Psalm chapter 69, or the 69th Psalm, verse 9. "For the zeal for your house will consume me, and the reproaches of those who reproach you have fallen on me." So it's like Jesus is taking on the same things, the same offenses that the Father is going to have. And then, for good reason, there are many people who believe that this psalm is really about Jesus, the first part of this, about some of this agony and anguish. Verse 9, like we just talked about. Verse 8 says, "I have become a stranger to my brothers, an alien to my mother's son." And there's some discussion about Jesus, and his relationship with his earthly mother and half-brothers. Verse 21 of this psalm talks about when he was on the cross, and it says, "They gave me poison for food, and for my thirst they gave me sour wine to drink." I think what we're seeing here is the disciples are remembering all of the things the Old Testament speaks about Jesus. And at one point when Jesus is walking on the road with the disciples, he points out how all these things of the Old Testament are about him. And what we read about in the New Testament, these things go together. They work together to proclaim this wonderful account of who Jesus Christ is. And the Holy Spirit has brought that to the disciples' mind after the fact to remember who this Son of Man is, Jesus Christ.